normal, right? Because heroic is what we
Yeah,
want.
I think normal. Halo 2 is a lot harder than Halo 1.
Okay, we're going to go to normal then.
Yeah.
And here is the thing that I saw while we were setting up. For some reason, Halo 2 is not installed. I don't know why it was not installed. I checked and it was.
Can you see my little nameplate?
Yeah, it's a rainbow with the BIPOC there as well.
Yes. Click on it.
Okay, I clicked on it.
I just think it's a really funny image.
Oh, his face.
He's staring.
Who is this strange man?
It's Lord Hood.
That means nothing to me.
Yeah, it barely means anything to me.
Okay.
He's a very important character who does. He has about as much to do as Keys.
Oh, goody. I bet there's like 10 Wikipedia pages long detailing of what he did in the backstory.
Yes, he's very important.
Yeah.
And also very rich.
Oh no, that sounds bad.
Yeah. Well, you know how politics is.
Yeah.
His name is Lord Hood.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Goodness. So while this installs, let's talk a bit about our history with the Halo 2. I've played all of it a billion years ago with a friend.
Yeah, you freaking joke. You told me you hadn't. Like a year ago.
I forgot.
When I said, hey, let's do Halo.
I forgot.
Yeah, I know you forgot. I know you forgot. I just want to remind everybody that we thought going into this that it would be a blind playthrough.
It is mostly blind because I remember basically none of it.
We'll see about that. Fortunately, after this one, it is actually blind.
Yes, 100%. I haven't touched the series since 2 because I did just stop being friends with that person who I was friends with.
You know what we could do while we wait is you could go through the customization options in Options and Career.
I've already done that on my personal stuff.
No.
On my personal time. It's neat. I made most of them all purple. But they're most of them are all just purple. I like how the Halo Reach soldiers look dumb and bad.
Yeah, after 3, they really lost a lot of sense of visual design. Like, they just started making generic sci-fi looking stuff.
Like, as blocky as the Halo 1 model is, it's a good fucking design.
Yeah, it's distinctive.
The thing I like the most about it is that the helmet looks like a hat. It's got that.
So that you can pretend you're Mario, right?
It's got the Mario brim. Yeah, absolutely.
Woohoo! I'm the Mr. Chief. Number 1. Number 117.
And then in Halo 2, they let you play as the cool aliens, the Dolphin Boys.
Yeah, you totally don't remember anything. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. In the character customizing thingy. I like the Dolphin Boys. The aliens have always been cooler to me in any series. Playing as the Dolphin Boys, like playing as a Turian from Mass Effect. It's just cooler.
Yeah, I like the Elite's design too.
Like the Elite design is really good. It's got a really cool, ominous looking armor, but also underneath it, they're just like a dolphin with a weird foremouth.
I don't really like the Halo 2 Anniversary Master Chief armor.
What does that even look like? Oh yeah, it all looks...
Kind of looks like Play-Doh now.
Yeah, it looks squishy and bad. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look like a hat anymore. Not really. And the elite is all... It is a little too thick in the head.
Yeah.
and body area. The elites should be, I think, tall and lanky. Look, I just want to play as a Turian, okay? I want to play as the weird martial art bug man.
For me, the pinnacle is Halo 3, because you get armor customization that isn't as, like, generic looking as Reach.
I didn't actually touch Halo 3's thing because it wasn't available at the time. I like that the elite is standing upright again, and you can see his teethers there. I love the quad mouth on the elites. They're so weird and cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
And the two really long middle fingers is just fun design. They got 2 thumbs and 2 middle fingers and nothing else. Also, they got hooves. These boys have hooves. Meanwhile, the armor for the okay, this is really weird. I'm looking at the customization character. Oh, okay, now I can rotate the man. It would not let me rotate the man, but now it lets me rotate the man.
Boy.
I like the armor. The helmet is still a little squishy looking, but it's better.
For the elite?
For the Spartans. The elite always looks good except for the anniversary one, which is just bad. I'm surprised they haven't let you play as not the Dolphins, but also as an alien.
You mean like as a...
Like as one of the dogs.
Like as a Dackle or a Grunt?
As like one of the dogs of the Gremlins. Or like a monkey.
In Halo 6, you will be able to play as a monkey. You will not be able to play as anything else.
Well, I mean, if you're playing as a human, you are playing as a monkey. But I meant the Donkey Kongs.
Donkey Kongs? Oh, the brutes.
Yeah, look, I don't...
Well, you see, I'm trying not to remind you of anything you insist you have forgotten.
It's okay, it's okay. This is going to be so silly. What a way to start this. I'm not gonna start it with this. I'm going to end it with this. Bonus videos of being unprepared. Bonus content. Hooray!
You want to watch this menu? That'll pull in the views.
I was clicking through things.
Have you looked at these progression? You know, the stuff you can unlock? You probably have some points to spend.
Yeah, I have looked at that. So, Halo 1 is 10 levels. Halo 2 is 15 levels. Halo 3 is back to 11 levels. And Halo Reach is 12 levels. But I think I remember you telling me that it's also like a open world game?
No, that's ODST.
Okay.
And ODST is coming out by the year. Certainly by the time we're ready for it.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't like ODST, but I respect it for trying something new.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know what it is about, or is, obviously. I know that there's jetpacks, ? And also that it's open world. It might be Reach that has jetpacks. I genuinely don't know.
It is Reach.
Okay. The general consensus is that Reach 1, 2, 3, and ODST are good, right?
People don't talk about ODST very much. It didn't leave much of an impact. And a lot of people Reach as their favorite game, and a lot of people don't care for Reach at all, just because it's different.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I was kind of in the latter type, but I can acknowledge that it's just because it's different and it's not what I played originally. It just doesn't have that same nostalgia factor for me.
That makes sense.
But it's a well-written story for sure, and it does a lot of interesting stuff.
Okay, that's I will keep that in mind because I obviously have no experience going in past 2, and my experience with 2 and 1 are very I don't remember.
Oh, you already forgot 1.
I mean, there are bits of 1 that I remember, but for the most part, I remember the videos, but otherwise, no. There's just not a lot in Halo 1 that is worth remembering.
Yeah, so we talked about how the Halo 1 was kind of held back because, like, there was nothing else doing shooters on consoles, and, like, Halo 1 invented console shooters.
Yeah.
And so if you could say that, and then you would say that Halo 2 invented Halo.
That sounds legitimate.
Yeah, this is really where the story started actually, like, because after 1 was a success, they were like, oh, shit, we gotta do something now. And so they actually, like, now they had the momentum behind them to make what they really wanted to make with 1, but weren't, like, confident enough to.
Yeah.
And 2 could be a little bit messy, I think, and that's why I like 3 better. But it also has parts that are better than anything in 3.
So 2 and 3 is like the dichotomy between Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
I haven't seen those, but okay. Maybe.
It makes sense. To the people who have seen it, that will make sense.
I hope so.
The general idea is that the lows and highs on Deep Space Nine are... I forget which one is which. One of them, its highs are higher, but its lows are also lower. And the other one is just more consistently good more of the time, but its highs are less high. But its lows are also less low.
And I would say Halo is I would say 3 is the more consistent one. 2 had a very, very intense development cycle. Like, 2's development had a lot of stuff going on, and they were working down to the wire right at the end, to the point where 3 was supposed to be in 2. There were only supposed to be 2 games, but they just ran out of time and had to move the story into 3.
Jeez.
2 was extremely ambitious. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the defining factor, is it's ambitious.
Interesting. And, Halo 4 exists, is my understanding.
It exists more than 5 does.
Well, I mean, is 5 even out? I don't know.
Yeah, 5 came out, like 2016, 2015, maybe 2014. Nobody knows when Halo 5 came out. If you look it up on Wikipedia, they don't know either. It's a mystery because nobody played it because it sucked.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. We're going to have to play that one, aren't we?
I don't know if it's included in the Master Chief Collection.
Well, it's not on the list. But I think it's on PC, maybe?
I can talk about 4 because I played 4. 4 had a lot of problems. The enemies just sucked, was the biggest one. But also the visual design got super, super generic. Like, I was talking about how it started getting generic with Reach. It was like Mass Effect Reject in 4.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
On the plus, because on like the plus side, oh, you're a rejected version of a good thing, so good on you. But also, no.
You were already a good thing before that.
Yeah. Bungie saw BioWare doing Space Cool, and they were like, "We Space Cool."
Well, 4 was when 343 took over, because Bungie said, "Hey, we're done." We did 3. That's all we had to do. We don't know. Have fun with the intellectual property you inherited from us, but that's our contract.
We're gonna go make Space Wizards now.
Yeah, we want to do something else.
I've heard Destiny 2 is really, really good. It just has a rough opening.
I have no idea.
I've played it. It's alright. It's a MMO shooter, is what you would think. Also, this cross-game playlists option that is blacked out, that's fucked up. To me. Imagine you're playing Halo 1 for like an hour because you're playing through one of the Halo 1 levels, and then the next level is Halo 4, and then you go back to Reach, and it's like, why would you do that on purpose?
Sometimes you just want to do all of the flood levels.
You know what? That's fine. I would get that.
I think that's actually one of the challenges you can do this season.
Oh, fancy. I haven't been paying attention to any of that because my gamer score, I do not give one single entire shit.
What about your gamer points?
Do not care.
I have unlocked, out of the 100 things for Season 1, I've unlocked 98 of them.
That's good, right? I don't actually know.
Yeah, and that's what you do the challenges for, is they give you points that gives you points that you can buy stuff with.
Okay. Fuel rod gun skin. Brutal. A Jiralhanai's best friend. So I'm gonna complain about a thing.
Oh.
I don't like any of the names the aliens have in Halo as a series. Like the human designations for them are very, I mean, they are what they are. Grunts, elites. Jackal doesn't really fit that. They should be called like snipers, because or shields, or like something related to what they do. The hunters are kind of a misnomer because they don't hunt. They kind of hunt, but they're big smashy Terminator worm boys.
Terminator is a hunter for sure. I mean, that's his job.
Fair. That's true. So the alien names on the human side are fairly generic on purpose because they are trying to be the humans being like, this is what they are, and it translates into game terms. Like, if you see an elite, it's called an elite, you know it's going to like screw your shit up.
Right.
Stuff like that.
The species name for that is the Sangheili, and the grunt is the Ungoi, and the brute is the Jiralhanai, and I don't remember what the jackals are.
What are the hunters called?
That's the Mengalok, or the...
This is what I'm talking about, by the way.
Well, I don't speak Covenant.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that these names are not good.
No, I think they're fine. It's just like you're not supposed to use them, right? Like you're not supposed to speak Elvish in Middle Earth.
Well, tell that to them.
But they still have Elvish names in Middle Earth.
Yeah, and they usually get used, I think.
Maybe if you're reading like the Silmarillion.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, I just think...
But the point is the names are there for flavor, not for usage.
Yeah, but I've legitimately seen people who only use the alien names.
Well, those two people are nerds, is the thing.
Fair point. What do you think that the Covenant call humans?
Well, they call Chief Demon, but that's because he's chief.
Well, is that a Covenant thing or a Grunt thing?
That's a Covenant thing.
Okay.
The elites do it too.
Okay, they call him Devil. Noted. Halo, the Master Chief as like a character is definitely riffing on the Doomslayer, right?
I don't think they were intentionally riffing on him in Halo 1. And I don't think Doom was still relevant at the time of Halo 2 and Halo 3.
I will grant you that. It's just that it is... Maybe this is just me reading too much into it, because, I mean, like, Doom is a space marine, and Halo is a space marine. Do not say anything about what I just said. But and like, because military tends to have a very specific look no matter what, maybe it's a coincidence. But it feels like it's not. Maybe that's just me.
I don't think they were trying to, like, parody or subvert or something. They were like, and I don't think it was a reference. I think in Halo 1, that was just the style, and they were going with the style.
Makes sense. And I should note, I'm not saying that they, like, intentionally tried to parody or riff on it or anything. I'm just saying that they were like, Doomslayer's cool. And then kind of like subconsciously designed slightly Doomslayer-ish.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the much bigger influence would be Marathon, which was Bungie's game before Halo, and was a Doom-like shooter, and had its own protagonist, who I don't know anything about.
Makes sense. That's interesting. Like, that is actually interesting. Like, I knew about Marathon. I've never played it. I've heard it's good-ish.
It's a little bit like System Shock and a little bit like Doom, as far as I understand.
Okay. The Marathon situation reminds me of, like, a Kingsfield versus a Demon Souls. In that here is a developer that has made a incredibly good game that happens to be like a spiritual successor to one of their first games, which were just kind of like, but were interesting. But now that they're bigger, they can do something fancier. And the fun thing about Demon Souls in that situation is that Demon Souls was still not good enough, so they had to wait until they made Dark Souls before they got, like, relevantly popular. Which is interesting to me. I guess Bungie kind of did the same with Destiny in that sense. Because Halo games, being the shooter game that they are focused on multiplayer to a fair degree. And an MMO is definitely focused on multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this entire thing its own video. This is the Instalcast.
So I looked it up, and the protagonist of Marathon is called Mjolnir Recon Number 54, also known as the Security Officer, the Cyborg, or the Marine.
So basically,
I mean, there you have it.
Basically Spartan boy. That's
also basically Doom guy.
Yeah.
The game came out in '94, which was like a year-ish after Doom.
Jeez.
So yeah.
Wait, 1994?
Yeah.
That feels way too late.
For Marathon?
You're right about the date that it was released, obviously, but that feels wrong in some way. That's 2 years after I was released.
You thought it was going to be like 92 or 91?
No, I thought it would be like 2000.
Oh, okay. Well, then... All right, I misunderstood what you said. Yeah, it was sooner than I expected. Yeah.
Sooner, right? That's how time works.
Yeah. Yeah, 1994, a year after Doom, and they had their guy named the Marine, And then a couple of years later, well, like 5 or 6 years later, they were working on Halo, and at this point, Marathon had a couple of sequels, and they needed a protagonist, and they just kind of,
filed off that serial number that they own and just put them in
yeah,
there.
yeah, and so for most of the time when they were developing Halo 1, the thinking was that Master Chief was a cyborg.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they call him the things that they do.
Yeah. But it turns out he's just a genetically altered superhuman.
I mean, I would argue that's a cyborg.
I think to be a cyborg, you have to have, robot limbs.
Technically, to be a cyborg, all you need to have is some sort of mechanical apparatus that improves your basic humanness. So if you have glasses, you are a cyborg.
Yeah, so I think that exactly proves my point that Master Chief is not a cyborg. Because you would not, in reality, if you pointed to a person with glasses and said that's a cyborg, people would be like, yeah, okay, Zoe, yeah, okay. That's not really a cyborg.
Yeah, that's true.
And so if you want to really be a cyborg, you have to have, significant mechanical augmentation.
Yeah, you have to at least have, an artificial arm or leg. Or, a pacemaker or something.
Or, an eye or something. It has to be, visibly...
Well, it doesn't have to be visible. You could have a pacemaker and be a cyborg.
Yeah, I think at that point, though, it would start being, a subversion story,
I guess so.
How's the install going?
It is at 80%. So, a question for you, M, because this was actually something that I've legitimately been asked. Are we going to look at the Halo anime? Question mark? The things that they have released that are not games.
If you want to, I haven't. I don't know a single thing about it.
I don't know nothing about it either, but the books and stuff, we could take a look at those as well.
So
you want me to?
You can't mention going over the Halo books without addressing the elephant in the room, which was the Polygon video released a couple months ago by Brian David Gilbert, where he went through all the books. And it was a very funny video, and if you haven't seen it, you should.
You heard it here first. Go watch that, because I bet it's good.
It is. It's very funny. It sounds like you have not seen it, Zodi.
I have not seen it for multiple reasons.
Oh, are you trying to avoid spoilers?
Yes, legitimately yes. And also...
Okay, well, I can tell you, feel free to watch it. You will not be spoiled, because he only covers the books. He does not cover the games, and actually he only covers the books in a way that has absolutely zero intersection with the games, which is ironic because the premise of the video was to read them to prepare for the games.
That sounds like a thing he would do. I might take a look. I do want to, I am legitimately considering reading the books just to get, an idea of it.
Well, you can take my word for it that it's spoiler safe.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. What if I reach the Fall of Reach? What if I'm reading the Fall of Reach and I get spoiled that Reach falls, though?
Well, I mean, that's the backstory for Halo 1. I think I've already mentioned that to you.
That's fair. That you have, and so have people in the thread.
So, all of the Halo games, at least the first 3, so when I say all the Halo games, I mean all the good Halo games, and Reach, I'll include that in there. All 4 of those games take place over the course of 3 months.
That's a very busy series of months for John Spartan over here.
Yeah, so in those 3 months, they find out what Halos are, and then stuff happens that I'm not going to spoil.
Many things are happening at all times.
So Halo 1 picks up literally 10 minutes after Reach. And then at the end of Halo 1, you escape in a longsword ship. And then the game succeeded, and Bungie realized, oh shit, we didn't think about how this ties into their story. We've got to write more story now. And so off screen, in between Halo 1 and 2, Master Chief takes the longsword, steals a Covenant battlecruiser, goes back to Reach, rescues some people that they needed for the later plot who got left behind on Reach, because supposedly the Pillar of Autumn was the only survivors. So they rescue some people, bring them back to Earth, and then Halo 2 starts.
Why would you write it like that?
Because everybody died on Reach, and then after 1 succeeded, they were like, oh shit, we actually need those people to be alive.
I mean, do you? Legitimate question. Do you really need them to be alive? I guess we'll find out.
You could have just not had them on Reach to begin with, but that would introduce other plot holes. And remember that by this point, the book, The Fall of Reach, came out like at the same time as Halo 1.
Mm-hmm.
So you had stuff in there that you couldn't really change.
Yeah, but the question is, the people who are on Reach who could not get to the Pillar of Autumn, why does it matter that they're dead?
One of them is the most important human in the series.
Oh, so Anderson.
Yeah, basically. Like, second maybe to John, and that's maybe. Like, that. Imagine how important they must be that the game's protagonist might be rivaling them.
That's a good point. Also, question. Anderson was on Reach, but also in Halo 1, so he did get on the Pillar of Autumn. His name is not Anderson, but I keep on calling him that because that was his character in Mass Effect.
Okay, so then who are you referring to, please?
Of the black guy.
Oh, Johnson.
I feel so bad saying it like that, but like, I don't fucking know his name.
I heard you were doing a Matrix reference, so I was trying to think of, like, Neo?
No. Command... You know what I'm talking about now that I've
I know what you're talking about, but I thought you were making a Matrix reference, and I was trying to figure out who you were referring to.
Why would I be making a Matrix reference, Em?
Because you called him Anderson. Like, you know, Neo. That's his name.
Yeah. Okay, you got
anyway,
me there.
That's another thing, but I don't want to talk about that right now because it actually comes up in Halo 2.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. I had another question in my brain, but I don't remember it. At any rate, it's finished installing, so impromptu, dumbass podcast thing over. I'm gonna stop the recording now.